Did you go to Colin Tony Drive? It's already done. He's too much
I
work.
guess he didn't realize until after, that's why. But
I don't care really, but it just seems like, okay.
Do you have to shut the door? Oh, thank you. Good evening, and welcome to the March 10th, 2025 meeting of the Zoning Board of Appeals. My name is Corinne Doherty, and I am the chair of the board. And I will introduce the board members. To my right is Ken Scholes. He's the clerk. To my left is Ken Jarvinen. To my far left is John Bowner. And from our planning department, our planning director, Mr. Brian Zakelli. As you can see, there's only 4 of us this evening, and we typically have 5 members on this board. So if for any reason we take a vote and you don't have the vote, you have the ability to continue to the next hearing until we have a full board of 5 members. When the clerk calls your case name and your docket number, either the applicant or whoever's representing the applicant, please go to the podium, present your case. The procedure is the board will ask questions. We will go out to the audience for any questions. We will also go online because this is broadcast over our DCAT station, so members from the audience might have some questions, and then we'll go back to the board for deliberation, and then we will render our decision. I ask everybody to silence your electronic devices. If you have any questions or if you want to speak at that time, please go up to the microphone, state your name, please provide your address, and then you can either ask your question or provide your comment. Board members, we are in possession of minutes from our I believe it's 2/24 meeting, 2/24/25 meeting. Do I have any comments or edits on those minutes?
No.
Hearing none, do I have a motion?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion passed. So on to our first regular business.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Our first case is 20 Pope's Lane. This is Highway Corridor Zone. Request a special permit to allow for 2 storage containers to be placed on the property for over 6 months in a calendar year. The intention is for these to be permanent structures on the site. The request is made by EDM Construction, care of Sean McGill, docket 25-5094.
Hello, my name is Jackie McGill. I'm the president of EDM Construction. My name is Jackie McGill. I'm the president of EDM Construction, and currently we have 2 containers on the site, and we needed a special permit in order to have the additional 2 permits. We can maintain all the setbacks and side yards that are required, so we're just asking to have 2 extra containers.
Ken, do you have any questions?
So you stated in your application that you want these to become permanent structures on the site.
They'll remain there for quite some time, yes.
Forever? Is that what we're asking here?
We're not going to put foundations or heat in them. They could be moved if need be, but for right now, they'll be on site for quite some time.
Okay. I have no further questions.
Ken?
Is there already some storage containers there?
Yes, we have 2 smaller ones.
To the left of, no, to,
Those are if you're looking at the building from the right, they're already to the right.
okay.
But you're only allowed to have 2 on the site at any time. So if you're going to have them for more than 6 months, you have to get a special permit.
So I thought I saw some on the left side looking at the building, or are those yours?
Those are the new containers we already got, yes.
Okay,
The one at
so-
the left, those are the containers we bought from Bitcon, and we moved them over there. So in order to keep them for 6 months or more on the lot, we need a special permit.
So those other 2 are already okayed?
You can have 2 by
Oh, you can have 2
code,
by right, that's right.
Yes, by right. So these additional 2, if they stay for more than 6 months, we needed a special permit.
Yeah, and is that all, that staging over on the right, is that all yours too?
Staging.
There's a lot of staging I saw, just stacked up.
Behind the,
But-
I'm sorry, behind the building. we have,
Identify yourself, please.
Hi, I'm Sean McGill with EDM Construction. Behind the building, we have a decent amount of staging there, all tucked away. It was a little unorganized at first, off to the side. I did, that is behind our building now, the line of sight.
Okay, so you moved it?
Yes.
Okay, thanks. Yep. I have no other questions.
John?
All right, Madam Chair, through you, I just want to go out to Brian and just get clarity on the storage container bylaw. We allow by right 2 for a period of 180 days or less. Is that correct? Okay, I'll make sure I stop there. Ms. McGill, when I visited your site yesterday, I counted 5 storage containers on your site, 1 large one in the back and 2 to the right of the building, and these 2 you're speaking about. Can you tell me why there's 5 there currently?
The very large one, I believe, belongs to Bitcon over, if you're looking at the property from Pope's Lane to the left side.
Yeah, no, this was behind EDM,
There,
number 20.
there are 2 smaller ones behind it. I don't think they were classified as Connex containers.
Well,
And
what is it classified as? It's larger than a Connex.
I'm not sure.
I don't,
2 ones from Merrimack.
A large gray one in the rear of the building. Behind your Joe boxes, behind everything, there's a large container out back. There's 2 to the right and there's 2 to the left. So by my count, there's 5.
Yes.
All right, so we agree there's 5 there.
Well,
Can I-
Two,
No.
two gray ones behind the building.
those aren't Connex boxes, those are small steel containers we made.
No, I'm not talking about Joe boxes, this is a large container.
Yeah, it's a small bolt containage storage we made for bolts. It's a 6-foot, it's like a storage shed, but we made it watertight. 'Cause
I
we
wish I photographed it, but, all right, so, well, all right, so there's 4 then. We kind of disagreeing on this 5th one. But what is the purpose of the other 2?
We also have a steel erection company, so we have to put our equipment in it. So 2 are, it's basically, we're always moving in and out equipment.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
it's
it looks like an active site. So, well, can I ask, so why, what thoughts did you guys have about expanding the building versus storage containers?
We don't have, it's just cold storage. It's just
Well,
equip-
whatever storage it is, but why not make a larger building? You have this room, you have
We
plenty of
don't want a
site.
building. We just need cold storage.
Yeah.
And it's temporary, we're always moving, so for instance, we have.
And
brass-
how long a period are you looking for these additional 2?
That's why we want a permit, because it will.
Well, I
be
can
more
tell
than
you right
6
now,
months.
I won't vote for anything open-ended, so you're gonna have to define it, for me, anyway.
Well, I'll go with what we have to, but I can't guarantee when it's gonna move.
Yeah, well, all right, I guess I have no further questions. Thank you.
I actually have a few questions. When did you purchase the property?
Around June of '24.
And so the 2 storage containers were already on the property when you purchased it?
Yes.
And what do you store in those containers?
Ironwork and equipment mostly, and then, so it's small tools and things that will get damaged outside and stolen.
Okay, so basically you need all 4 of them to store the same type of equipment for you?
Yes.
And where, right now, are you storing the equipment that will eventually go into the 2 new storage containers?
Various sites. We have storage containers at different job sites, and when they come back, so they come in and back. So we're constantly moving. We just finished South Station in Boston, so we had all our staging there. Well, we had quite a bit of staging there. We're at Tri-Town in Braintree, and when we load out the job and then we bring it back, go through it.
Well, Madam Chair, I think all 4 of these are on site currently, correct?
Right now
I think we
they are.
just zeroed in on that, so they're already there.
Oh, no, no, I know
Yeah,
they're there, but,
okay.
but.
So
what
you're
is-
already storing stuff.
No, the two we just moved over from Bitcon was because Bitcon sold their building, like, last month, is it, I
Okay.
think? In January, February, and I bought the storage containers from Bitcon.
Okay.
So what did you do prior to buying those? You just stored them you stored that equipment at different locations?
We had an existing building in Merrimack that we couldn't fully empty.
Okay. And the two when you purchased, the two existing ones, they're on, are they on concrete? Like, what are they on right now?
There's no foundation to them, they're just on the gravel.
Okay, the old ones too?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, so going back to Mr. Zakelli, they actually need a permit for all four of them.
Yeah, because you can't store more than 2 for more than 180 days, just
Right.
like John said. So, you're allowed to, they don't have to be consecutive days, but basically the bylaw says that you don't need a permit. If you're gonna be 180 days within a calendar year, you can have up to 2. So if they need 4, it's not that they're just asking for 2 to be there all the time, they're asking for 4 there to be all the time, which is essentially what they asked for. I think you could give the relief. It's based upon the notice in the legal ad, you could give the relief that they are requesting.
Okay. All right, I do not have any further questions. Any questions or comments from the audience? Okay. Brian, anyone online? Questions, comments? Okay. Ken?
I'm a little torn with this. I think I'm with John on this. I hate an open-ended time frame here on this thing. I don't mind extending maybe over the 180-day mark, but I'm not happy with the open-ended aspect of this. So as of this, the way this stands, I'm a no.
Ken?
Yeah, I tend to agree. I mean, it's supposed to be for 6 months, so why can't we have an end date like around 6 months? I mean, does that make sense? I mean, I'm just saying, I mean.
Because I need
Oh, we're
I need cold
deliberating.
storage, that's why.
Yeah,
So I
yeah.
don't want to lie. It's not good. For the most part, we're going to need cold storage, and I never knew it was an issue because all of our neighbors had it. I
Yep.
didn't know it was an issue.
Yeah. Okay. Well, yeah, I don't think, yeah, I mean, I don't like the open-ended either, I would say.
John?
Yeah, I mean, I mean, as new owners of this business, I think a lot of the members of this board, we've seen everything that's gone on Pope's Lane. It's, your yard's a busy yard, I get it. But I just think there's a lot of wiggle room to do something else. And I think our bylaw is written in such a way that we can help in a storage pinch, and that's the idea of adding condexes or storage containers. But I couldn't with a straight conscience, and again, I think there's a 5th one there. You guys might call it something else, but I believe there's 5, because I drove around your site twice and counted them up. I mean, I'm not saying I'm a flat-out no, but I just don't like this plan. I would want you to come back with something more concrete, and let's get a handle on exactly how many containers and how long. I'm not really buying that all your neighbors have these containers. If they are, Mr. Zakelli's team will be out there to have a look, because they're in violation if they are. So that's the unfortunate part of this is a lot of times that's how violations happen, right? They see, oh, the neighbor's doing it, so I can do it. But I think in fairness to all the other businesses in town, and again, we take one case at a time, so I don't believe we're setting a precedent here, but I just couldn't vote for it the way it is. So I'm not a flat out no, but I just don't like this plan, and
So we're forced to make a
well, I'm
full-fledged-
just telling you my comments right now, so.
forced to
That's
make-
all, Madam Chair, thanks.
I'm next. I agree with the board members. Usually when we grant these, it's for a specific purpose. It's either temporary in the sense that they're going to add on to the building, or it's temporary in the sense that it's some sort of seasonal where they need it a little longer than 6 months. We typically, or actually, we never have someone come in and say, hey, we want to put these structures on our property and we want them to be allowed forever. So I agree. I'm willing to work with you with regard to giving you a certain period of time, in which case you'd have to come in and then request, that the special permit will lapse. You'll have to come in and request it again. But to just give you an open-ended one is not fair to the town, but it's also not fair to the other businesses who would love to have that also, and we just don't grant them. So you don't have the votes now. It's my suggestion that you continue and come back. Take John's comments and come back with a plan that is more time-defined. And then from what everyone's saying, we're willing to work with you, but it just can't be open-ended. So, John, the next meeting is March 24th?
March 24th, Madam Chair.
Would that give you enough time to kind of rethink it and come back?
Probably have to get a lawyer, so, no.
Okay. So what is the meeting after that? March 24th, April,
And then we're into April 14th.
April 14th?
I should be able to do that.
Okay.
Madam Chair, I make a motion that we continue this case to April 14th, 2025.
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you.
Ready?
Yes.
Okay, our next case is 9 Lawrence Street. This is zoned R1. Request a finding to allow the construction of a farmer's porch on an existing non-conforming structure that will encroach on the front setback and be 6.5 feet from the front property line where 20 feet is required. The request is made by Eduardo Gonzalez, docket 25-5095.
Good evening. My name is Eduardo Gonzalez. I am the property owner of 9 Lawrence Street, along with my wife, Angela Perez. 9 Lawrence Street is a single-family home. We are requesting a finding of exception to the 20-foot setback rule from the front property line. We would like to build a farmer's porch at the front of the property. It is an open porch, not closed off. It will be the entryway to the front of the house. The porch would extend 8 feet from the home. The existing structure right now is a staircase with a landing. That landing is 5 feet 8 inches. This would come out 2 feet 4 inches more, so that the end of the porch and the property line would have a 6.5 foot until the property line. And we're requesting a finding. The width of the porch is the entire width of the house, 24 feet.
Thank you. John, any questions?
I guess I'll go publicly through you, Madam Chair, to our building, and I'm sorry, our planning director. And Mrs. Kelly, and as I've spoken with you about, I'm in the camp of, I don't believe this applicant needs a finding. I feel like they can do it by right, but if you could expand on that. We have a note in Table 2 that allows eaves, stairs, and porches can be less than the front setback, although we've identified it's not defined. So it's maybe a gray area for us at this point, but if you could maybe just
Sure. I
elaborate a
mean,
little.
You explained most of it, so that it's a footnote in the table of dimensions. that says that eaves, front porches, and specifically open porches, it says may be less. Doesn't say how they can be less, or under what circumstances they can be less, or how close it actually can go. It just says may be less. That's all it says. Doesn't say anything anywhere else. I talked with the building inspector, and what we, so since this was a practice, I don't know, I'll be honest, I don't know when this practice kind of started, but basically, whatever the half the distance was. So if the front setback was 20 feet in this case, if you were breaking the setback and you were anywhere between 10 and 20 feet away from the setback, they'd be like, okay, you can do that with a building permit. Anytime it got less than half the distance, so less than 10 feet, so closer to that front property line, they would basically say you either have to get it to that 10 or go in front of the ZBA for a finding. I think if the board doesn't want to see these types of projects because under all circumstances they would get approved, for example, it's a change that we can make under what we consider not a policy change, but like a housekeeping bylaw to make that change. So that's something that we talk about at the land use summit, that sort of thing. But as of now, this rule of half is what we are moving, what we've been doing, and until the bylaw changes, that's what we're going to continue to do.
Okay. So, thank you. So, Mr. Gonzalez, based on that, again, my feeling is you shouldn't even have to be here. But I'm going to go with, as the planning director has indicated here. So I don't have any questions for you. It's an open structure. It's not enclosed. And the stairs will come off of it. Will the stairs extend to the 6.5 feet, or is the porch and then stairs, or how's that work?
It would be porch and then stairs, but no part of the structure would be over the property line.
Yeah, I understand that. So, but you said 6.5 feet. Is the porch at 6.5 feet, and then there's a set of stairs?
Yes, sir.
And so the stairs, how much further out do the stairs come?
It depends the angle that they build them. Essentially, they have 6.5 feet to get down from whatever elevation they're at. I'm not sure.
So the stairs are in the 6.5 feet?
No, sir.
No, so it's the porch is 6.5 feet, and then there's stairs on top of that.
Correct.
Very good. No further questions. Thank you.
Ken?
I have no questions. Thanks.
Ken?
That was my question, John. Do the stairs come all the way down to the sidewalk?
They should, yes.
Yeah, so the stairs are not, I can interject if you don't mind, but so
Sure.
that means that the stairs are not on the plan.
Correct.
So then if the stairs are not on the plan.
Well, I
so
see them here.
Not on the plot plan.
Not on
Oh,
the
right.
dimensional plan.
No, so the dimensional plot plan is asking for 6.5 feet, so you would be giving 6.5 feet. You could say 6.5 feet from the porch, but right now, you're not, the stairs are silent here. You're not even, so you don't know where the stairs are according to this.
Right.
So the 6.5 feet, you could, they're asking for 6.5 feet from the porch, but the stairs do need to be on the plan.
On the proposed plot plan?
Yeah.
Okay. The existing stairs, which are there now, are probably less than 2 feet from the property line. If I had to guess, I'd say about 1.5 feet. There's a concrete slab, and then it's the sidewalk.
Yeah, I mean, I went out and
Yeah, it's right there.
measured it.
It's
From
right
the
there.
house, it's 15 feet to the sidewalk. So,
I just want to make it clear that the
And-
stairs are not on this plan.
Right.
So they obviously are not going to go into the sidewalk. However, I'm sure DPW and the building department would want to know exactly where these stairs are going to be.
right,
So they would have to be on the plan.
yeah. I agree with that. I guess I don't have any other questions other than that.
So I'm looking at the plans that you submitted with your application. So from these, they're right, we can't tell how close they're going to be to that line.
Looks like another 4 feet, if I had to guess.
I know, but we can't guess.
So
I know we can't guess. but
this is
I'm
that
just-
distance that we would need from
Right.
the edge of the open porch to the bottom of the stairs,
Right.
that horizontal distance.
Right.
Right. Because again, we don't want those stairs to be on the property line.
No, but as of right now, if you go out there, the stairs are pretty much on the property line, right at the sidewalk's edge. I mean, it's, you're looking at it's like this much right now.
Yeah.
Your stairs end, you have about this much width, and then the sidewalk, and then you're landing on the sidewalk. So, it's probably been that way 100 years, but.
If you look at the first page of the project plan, it says farmer porch plan, the one that has the width of the stairs at 5 feet 8 inches. What you're saying is you're missing the dimension of the depth of those stairs, correct?
Right, so
The
here
edge
where
of
we
the
have this
porch
plan view,
to
not
the-
this
to the
plan view,
landing.
the side view of, so it's showing the depth of the farmer's porch, which is 8 feet. And then we were just, if we had the depth of those stairs, then we could say, which could be 4 feet, then really you're asking for the stairs to be 2.5 feet from the property line.
Okay, well, two things could be done. Either we could ask the gentleman that drew up the plans for the porch to add that. We could ask the surveyor to add it to the plot plan, or we could start at Mr. Owner's initial position, which was, I don't need permission in the first place. So,
A lot of options.
I like that option.
I'm not in charge.
I think before we can grant you any relief, we need the rest of the information. So we would need, who is the architect to T-Design LLC? If they could provide the additional information, that way we would know specifically, or we can identify exactly where it's going to end. So everyone can look at it and we can ballpark it, but we don't know what the exact measurement is.
But before we get that measurement, I think it makes sense, I mean, I can double back with the building inspector. I mean, just to be double sure, before you go back to the architect to have anything changed or added, just to make sure that, I mean, I still believe it does require a finding, but we can figure that out pretty quickly again.
Well, I think in this case, I would prefer the finding, number one. But number two, we also want to make sure it's not going to cross that line.
Oh, no, of course. If we're moving forward, we need this information.
Right.
Period.
Right.
It's a question of if this is a full stop, potentially,
Yeah,
that I would say before we even, I could have another conversation. However, I'm pretty confident.
okay. So,
Could I ask
go
one more
ahead,
question?
go ahead.
Brian, could you bring up this view? And I just want to confirm something with you, Mr. Gonzalez. So this distance, the 8 feet that's added to give you the farmer's porch, beyond that, you're saying it's 6.5 feet to the curb?
That's correct.
Okay.
So those
stairs are going to land somewhere in that 6.5 feet?
Yeah.
Okay, and again, I believe this is why we don't require finding, because I think there's tons of porches in town where the stairs might butt right into the sidewalk, and that's why we never had findings for it, but I'm fine. I just wanted to confirm it, so it's 6.5 feet from your porch. The stairs are gonna land where they're gonna land, we just don't want them landing on the public sidewalk. Okay, thank you.
We will go out to the audience now. So, yes, you may go up and speak. Remember, name and address.
Bill McKenzie, 34 Harbor Street. I've been a contractor in town since '77. Done a lot of work on Lawrence Street. Anytime that we have to do an addition or any kind of setback, we could do an average.
Yep.
His porch and whatever he's doing there is going to be within that average. I've done porches on that street. I've done a lot of porches in Danvers. And the rule that we've followed, as long as it's not a closed-in or a heated or a room, it's an open porch, you're allowed to build up to about 1 foot or 2 from the sidewalk, as long as you're not impeding Public Works Way.
And that's
Now,
how
this
I
has been
understood it.
done for years in this town. So for him to go and spend more money to make this right, it's already right. That's all I got to say.
Anyone else? Mr. Bradstreet?
Bill Bradstreet, Town Meeting Member, Precinct 1. I looked at the house, I looked at the steps down. Farmer's porch will go across. Is there an issue with, say, the steps being put at either end as opposed to out at a right angle to the sidewalk, either end? Or am I looking at this wrong? I mean, does the porch have to have the steps in the center, or can they be put on a end?
Well, I think most people kind of want to, well, there wouldn't be a walkway here, but I think as far as symmetry, I think it's probably better if they go up the front rather than have two sets off the side.
Again, looking at it with how much depth you have, put the porch on and put the steps on either end.
kinda how he
And you
wants
don't
it.
have an
Yeah.
issue with the steps
Yeah.
ending up either on or right at the sidewalk. Just an observation?
Thank you, Mr. Bradstreet. Anyone else? Comment? Question? Okay, let's go back to the board for deliberation.
Thank you, Madam Chair. You know, again, my feeling is, I don't believe you need a finding. I think this should have just been issued by right. And I agree with what the gentleman said about the street averaging. However, believe it or not, Lawrence Street is not on our list. It's never had an averaging done. However, you're well with, in line with what else is going on Lawrence Street. So, I mean, if I'm forced to vote for it, I would vote in favor of it, but I really don't think it's needed.
Ken?
I'll vote for this.
Ken?
I have no problem with this. I just kind of wanted to see what that dimension was. I just didn't want the stairs to be, falling down onto the sidewalk. I'm sure they're probably not going to be. So, I mean, I will vote for this.
I'm on the fence only because I prefer to have, I prefer to have everything detailed, and I'm kind of surprised that they didn't put what that additional measurement was. In addition to that, if anybody has street averaging, we went through it for this specific application, and we didn't find any for the street. If you have them, submit them to the town, if you have them.
Yeah, it's not on the official list of.
It's not on the
there's like
official list,
14
though.
or 15, there's like,
1977, it might not be because they weren't.
Oh, well, I don't know. Some
go-
of them
they
go
go
back pretty far.
Pretty far,
They
yeah.
go back pretty far. Yeah.
Madam Chair, maybe just a point of clarification. I mean, we could vote in favor of this just with knowing that the building department would need this dimension.
Okay.
well, yeah, I
We
mean,
could do
even for a
that.
building permit, they would still need, I mean, we're not asking for anything that they
Right.
don't require even for a building permit. So it's not like there's like extra information that they clearly need
We
this
just need a
information
number
to
on the
finish the
plan.
job.
Okay. All right. I will vote for this, but as we said, as part of pulling your building permit, filling out that application, you're going to have to provide that number. So, again, who is your architect? Just call him up and ask him to reprint out that page and put the specifics in it, because you're going to need to file that with the permit application.
Good to go?
Good to go.
Madam Chair, I'll make a motion for 9 Lawrence Street, docket 25-5095, to issue a finding to allow for the construction of a farmer's porch on a pre-existing non-conforming structure that will encroach the front setback and be 6.5 feet from the property line where 20 is required, and that the proposed extension / alteration of the use is not substantially more detrimental than the existing structure to the neighborhood, with the note that we need one additional dimension for the stairs.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Congratulations.
Good luck.
Good luck.
Thank
luck.
you. Thank you.
Next.
Okay, our next case is 12 Colin Tony Drive. This is zoned R2. Request a variance under Table 2 of the zoning bylaw to construct an addition that will be located 8 feet from the side setback where 15 feet is required. The request is made by Amy and Frank Sklar, care of Triple Q Inc., John Colantoni, docket 25-5096.
Thank you.
Oh, John, we got pictures? Great. Love pictures.
So for the record, my name's John Colantoni from Triple Q Inc. I'm the builder, developer, chief bottle washer, you name it. I have the owners that had us build the custom house for them, Amy and Frank, with us. And I also have the architect, John Duggar, who this board has met before. We haven't been in front of you in a long time, who's designed every custom home on the street. What I handed to you just was a letter that every homeowner that lives there, we have 6 families living there now, with Amy and Frank being the 7th. So there's 6 letters that everyone, is in favor of this, and they don't feel that it's a detriment to the neighborhood or to Danvers. Also, I just provided some pictures that were just taken this weekend that I thought might be helpful, because I know everyone's busy. You might not have been able to go out to see there. And what we're asking for officially is a request of variance under Table 2 of the zoning bylaw to construct a stairway that will be located 8 feet from the side property line where 15 feet is required. So I want to thank Brian for picking up on this and helping us through the process, because the stairway, as you can see by the pictures, and if you went out there, is already built. So this doorway going out the side of the house was something that Amy and Frank added in the middle of the build. Just like sometimes you add a window, you move a window this way or whatever. So we added it without thinking there was any problem, because a lot of communities that have work going on right now allows you to do egresses on any side of your building as long as there's no roof on it. So we didn't even think of it. So that's my fault and my team's fault. And we totally respect the board. If the vote is no, that we will have to take down the stairway. So I just wanted to explain to you why it's up there and not coming before you ahead of time. If we had known about it or understood it correctly, we'd still be here asking for the same thing. Because the shape of the lot, because of the right-of-way easement that was there, I had 3 buyers for this lot. We tried to do builds. They had money down 3 different times, 3 different couples, and couldn't get to a final build as hard as John and my engineer and myself tried because of the shape of the lot with the easement. Amy and Frank had the vision, the 4th buyer's down, and we got it done. It's a beautiful home. But because if you look at the last couple pictures that I gave you, the wall of the back of the house is literally sliced. And the reason it is it had to go with the right-of-way easement that existed on the lot. We tried to get that easement moved at the beginning of the subdivision approvals, roughly in the first year of it, and we failed. And for 4 years, we were trying, and this past September, the right-of-way easement in fairness to the board was moved. The build was already done and everything, so they couldn't change the shape of the house. So the little bit of a bonus is they got a better backyard of usable, maybe to put up a shed or whatever it may be. The other thing is, if we don't get your vote and we have to take this down, we would probably keep the door on the side of the house, and we would do landscaping with pavers and coming around. The stairway with the composite is better because water goes through and it's pervious compared to possibly being impervious if we go the other route. Even if you use pervious pavers and stuff, as we all know, when you do it that way, it's not as good as if you have the composite, the stairway, the water goes through, and there's stone underneath. It's still 8 feet from the setback, so it's not over that sort of 50% unwritten rule, it seems. So we also thought that was helpful. It definitely is not any detriment to anything. And I'll take any questions. I don't want to take much of the board's time.
Ken?
I don't have any questions, thank you.
Ken?
I have no questions.
John?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Hi, Mr. Colantoni. So there is no egress in the rear of the house?
There's a walkout basement,
Okay.
and the other egress is on the right-hand side of the house. So if you look how the wall is cut in the back of the house, you're really looking at 10, 15, 20 feet up. So that's why it was impossible to do like a normal type back door or anything off the first floor like you normally would.
So I don't see any easement on here now, so that's been removed?
Right, well, what happened is, we got lucky, again, with the help of the planning department, that the easement got moved in September. The house was already built, everything was done, we were doing finishes. So if the easement had been moved when we originally thought it should have been moved, the house wouldn't even been shaped the way it is. It would have been a normal house. You know,
So why, I'm just curious, so I noticed you got 31-foot setback on the right, and only 16 on the left. Why isn't it more centered, I guess? Was it
but you
ledge
gotta
or something?
remember, we're dealing with conservation, and we're also dealing with, I believe, riverfront on this lot. Definitely conservation. I'm not sure if this is a lot with riverfront, but I think it is. There's also an easement on the right-hand side between this lot and 14 Colantoni Drive, which is part of the subdivision drainage easement, which I believe, Brian, is 50 feet wide? I think it's 50 feet wide.
Yep.
So there's actually egress on all four sides of the house?
If you count the basement in the rear,
Yeah,
And
there's a
there's
slider
a,
back
there's
there,
an
right?
exit, there's a doorway on the right-hand side,
the
left-hand
right-hand
side?
side is sliders, yes.
Yeah.
But the basement,
Well, you answered my question on why it's already built,
Look,
because
it's
I went
over
out
here.
there, and I was like, oh,
Can't
it's
see
already
the
here.
picture.
All right, I have no further questions.
You certainly have a lot going on in that lot.
oh, it's crazy, yes.
I do not have any questions. Any questions from the audience? Brian, do we have any online? Okay, back to the board. Ken?
Yeah, I'm okay with this. It's less than half the distance. We've heard from the neighbors. I'm a yes.
Ken?
I'm good with this.
John?
Yeah, I struggle with new subdivisions needing to be before us, as you
I
can
understand.
imagine, right?
Yes.
But I see this modest enough where I would vote for it.
And I agree, I'll vote for this too. You have a lot of, as I said, a lot of issues going on with this piece of property, and a lot of things that are kind of out of your control with regard to where you can build and what you can do. I do have one question. On the other side of the house, where you have, it looks like it might be a master with a patio, like a little patio off of it. It looks like there's like half a garage door next to it. What is that?
It's what I call a toy garage door, meaning the snow blower. Frank could tell me when he's gonna use it more. It's really kind of neat. It's one of the first ones that we did, and it's priced pretty good, so we're gonna look at possibly doing it at other builds.
Oh, very, very interesting. I did see it, it caught my eye, so.
Like the Bat Cave.
Yeah.
Madam Chair, I'll make a motion for 12 Colantoni Drive, docket number 25-5096, to issue a variance under Table 2 of the zoning bylaw to construct an addition that will be located 8 feet from the side property line where 15 is required, and that the proposed extension alteration is of the use is not substantially more detrimental than the existing structure to the neighborhood. Adjacent properties would not be adversely impacted. The reduced dimensions would not be detrimental to the public good and would not substantially deviate from the intent or purpose of the bylaw.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Thank you very much.
Good luck.
Appreciate
Enjoy
all
your
the
new
time.
house.
Yes. Okay, last one.
Final case is 13 to 15 South Liberty Street, also zoned R2. Request for a finding under Section 3 of the zoning bylaw to allow for the construction of an addition to an existing non-conforming structure that will continue to encroach on the side setback at 4.1 feet where 15 feet is required. The request is made by Patrick O'Brien, docket 25-5097.
Hi, my name is Chris Jones. I'm the contractor for this. We've adjusted this and adjusted the deck over so that it should land within the lot line. That's what Brian had asked us to do. So we're looking for a finding to keep moving forward.
So there's work being done on the project, so if you did go by it, you
Yeah.
might see that, that's on plan left. The work that is before you this evening is the proposed deck out the back, and what I had said was this, like, if you can keep it in line with what's there, that's generally, unless you're kind of going up several floors, that's generally looked upon as not being detrimental to the neighbor. So did his best to do it, and it looks like he was able to keep it at 4-1 the whole way.
John, do you have any questions?
Oh, I do. I am confused. I visited this site yesterday. I guess, Madam Chair, through you, we're only here on the deck, not the building itself?
Yeah, the rest of the work is not, that large proposed addition is not, is a building permit, is not under,
Can you bring this up? Do you have that?
I do.
As I don't understand pulling off of Liberty Street when I look at the building directly, I don't see this view
Addition isn't on yet. You see that the house on the left, on the right-hand side.
that's somewhat demolished, on the left-hand side.
The left-hand side right now is an existing shed that they had used for years for storage. The two-car garage is an addition that's going on, and that's not in any of
So
the...
when I pull off the street, I have this, I think this is your neighbor, this kind of view. Where is that on this?
That's the left-hand side of the house, the right-hand side that you see. Right now, you're looking at the back of the house,
Okay.
so the right-hand side,
This is the rear of the property?
that's the rear.
Yeah.
And the deck is right there, yes.
Yeah, I guess when I pull off the street, I don't see this anywhere.
You only see the right-hand side that has been, the inside's been gutted and the outside
th-
has been
this?
siding on it. Yes, sir.
But I don't see this type of dormer. I don't see this roof line.
The only thing you don't see right now is the dormer itself.
Okay, so
Everything
the,
else is
so the
there.
plan is to go even higher than what it is?
Nope, just add it on the door, the window dormer.
All right, but anyway, we're here on the deck? Is
Yes.
that what I understand? And how far into the setback will it go, the deck?
I believe it's 4 feet, but that's existing. Nothing's changing there.
All right, I'll send it on to the rest of you. Thank you.
Ken?
Yeah, so I know we're not here for that shack thing, but that's gonna be removed, right?
That's where the two-car garage is going later, yes.
Okay, good. Wow.
Hanging on by a limb.
Yeah,
it's
that's
looking rough.
pretty rough. All right, that's all I got, thanks.
Ken?
Thank you. So everything continues back the same formation of the house?
Nothing's changing, correct.
Right. And the deck is elevated, right?
Correct.
Right. I don't have any other questions.
So if we look at this picture,
Yep.
Brian, could you put it up? One more, I think.
Yep.
There it is.
There it is.
Yep.
The only part of this that you're in front of us is for that deck on the back?
The back far right-hand side protruded over the lot line by 6 inches. So yes, we shifted everything over a foot.
Okay. Okay, I don't have any other.
Can I ask?
Yes, go ahead.
So this deck has no stairs off of it?
Nope.
So, I thought I heard you say 4 feet, but now you're saying 6 inches. Where am I missing?
It's 4.1 from the
Oh,
line.
if you're gonna
Up-
speak,
you
go
have
to the
go
mic
up to the microphone.
and identify yourself, please.
Patrick O'Brien, 15 South Liberty Street. Originally, when we proposed it, the original design was 5 foot off the corner of the house, which would have encroached upon what is originally the setback. So we kicked it in to be at the original, the 4'1", the same as what it is currently.
So it's a pre-existing non-conforming.
Correct.
Your setback's at 4'1" now.
Correct.
And this deck's gonna say at 4'1".
Yes.
Correct. Originally, like, the way the plot line is, it's at an angle, so originally the way they designed it was gonna be 5 foot. It was basically gonna encroach on it. We
It
in
was
turn-
gonna further encroach.
Correct.
Right.
So we
Okay.
in turn put it at an angle so that it didn't further encroach on it.
I just out of curiosity, I mean, what is this a multifamily house?
No,
What is the square footage of this place?
I own a garden center, so I have 3 seasons I have to store for. That
Okay.
house that's falling down, that addition right now, is filled with Christmas stuff, as crazy as that is.
Okay.
And I'm running out of space, and it's got to go somewhere. You know, that addition that's falling down is like 18 by 20,
Yep.
filled to the ceiling with Christmas decorations. And that's just 1 season. So we have 3 seasons we got to, store and have,
All right, but this is planned to be a residence, though.
Yeah.
This would be
Yeah.
his residence,
yes,
yes.
correct.
I just have one,
Yeah, I'm
after you're
good.
done.
I'm good, thank you.
So, you're Patrick O'Brien, so you,
Patrick O'Brien.
so you
I'm the one that
purchased,
owns the garden center.
so you basically own the house next to where you work now?
Correct.
Okay,
So the end goal is to run the business and live on the property, renovate the house. When I bought the property and the house, it was dilapidated, nobody could live in the house, nobody could run a business off the property. We're just trying to revitalize things, clean it up, and finish off the house.
and how long do you estimate the construction's gonna take?
I hope 9 months, but we'll see.
Should be less
Okay.
than
It's
that,
been
but
3
yeah,
years that I've
That's
been
our
doing it.
intention, is to get everything done to keep
Okay.
things cleaned up.
Okay, and,
Yeah.
and I agree with John. When I saw the picture and I drove by, I said,
Holy shit.
am I in the right spot?
Yeah.
So now I know why. Thank you.
Madam Chair, if I could as well. So you're saying 9 months, but the rest of the building's being done by permit. This is the only spot you're seeking relief.
My knowledge, yeah.
I guess something's just, I can't figure this out for some reason. I've looked at many plans, this one confuses me, but, yeah, I guess I'm all set. Thank you.
Questions from the audience?
Oh, I'm sorry, I just remembered it. Are you privy to the letter your butter sent?
Yeah,
At 11?
I'm aware of it.
Yes.
Yeah, and I guess he must have spoke at preservation, I'm assuming.
Conservation.
Conservation.
Conservation, sorry.
Patient.
So you're dialed in with his concerns and,
We're all good. I
Okay.
speak to 'em often.
yep, very good. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you. Any questions or comments from the audience? Anyone online, Brian? Okay, back to the board for deliberation. John?
Yes. Yeah, I mean, this, I mean, you're already a pre-existing non-conforming. It's a back deck. I think it's, it's quite a large building, but if you want the deck, I can see wanting to have the deck. Not having the stairs, I couldn't go with, but that's not me gonna be living there, so I would vote for it.
Ken?
I'll vote for this as well.
Ken?
I'll vote for this.
And I'll vote for this as well. Could I have a motion?
Madam Chair, I can make a motion here on 1315 South Liberty Street, docket 255097, to issue a finding under Section 3 of the zoning bylaw to allow for construction of an addition to an existing non-conforming structure that will continue to encroach on the side setback at 4.1 feet from the property line where 15 feet is required, and that the proposed extension, alteration of the use is not substantially more detrimental than the existing structure to the neighborhood.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Congratulations.
Good luck.
Good luck. Could I have a motion
We have any
to-
other business? Are
Any
we
other
good?
business? I don't think so.
So
Motion to adjourn.
So moved.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Good night.
Okay. Good night.